Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the AfroMattt Show. I'm your host, AfroMattt, and once again with me is my co-host, as always, Nick Mick 2022. What's up, Nick? How's your new year? This is the first episode of, I guess, season 2 of the AfroMattt Show because it's a new year, new me, new us, new vaccines, new quarantines, new COVID-19s. How are you feeling?
Good. I
Good.
feel really good.
Are you excited to get into 2022 full swing?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm excited. I'm excited about this thread you just showed me.
Oh, are you gonna binge that hard? Are you gonna binge
Yeah,
r
there's a
slash
lot
con-
of good
r
there's a
slash
lot of good
conspiracy?
content here.
He's gonna dive in deep. Yeah, that's usually where I get a lot of my conspiracy. I know Reddit's not the best source of information, but it's a good jumping point because they say some wild shit. And they actually, a while back, someone posted a huge, like, one of those iceberg memes where it has, like, the deepest, like, red pilled shit on the, like, deep on the bottom. And it has, like, everyone knows about, like, Jeffrey Epstein's Island. And then as you go deeper down the iceberg, it's like, Clientele Pro, Project Paperclip. Do you know what Project Paperclip is? Not a lot of people know about it, but it's like it's been fully disclosed by the government. You know what it is?
No.
That's when, um, so after World War II, when the Nazi scientists who helped create, machines of war and, tear gas and shit like that to attack the U.S. soldiers, they were being charged with hate crimes, and among them was Werner von Braun. He was a German scientist, a German Nazi scientist. The U.S. gave him an ultimatum, and they said, "Hey, either you come work for us, and we'll pardon you of all your war crimes, or you can, be tried for your war crimes." I mean, it's a pretty good deal, and he took it, and then he invented NASA. Isn't
That's
that
right.
isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
I mean,
heard that.
NASA is just by definition strictly a Nazi. It was funded by it was actually founded by an ex-Nazi, Werner von Braun, and you can just look that up. It's all been disclosed um, through the Freedom of Information Act. So you guys can all just type in Werner von Braun Nazi, and I guarantee you it will
But you
pop
know you
something up.
can't find through the Freedom of Information Act and
Uh,
landing data.
what?
I watched this documentary
Oh,
where
moon landing data.
yeah, they
Oh,
literally went to the place and asked to see the files, and they were like, "Okay, we'll lead you to it," and they couldn't find anything.
they're like, we'll lead you to it, and they lead you to the chamber, the same
The,
cell that
the
Jeffrey.
door closes and locks from the outside.
Yeah, they're like, it's just in this room. Just walk in there. It's Jeffrey Epstein's cell that he used to stay in. It's right in there.
Yeah,
All the cameras turn off. For some reason, there's no guards. You're like, oh, this is odd.
this is odd.
Yeah, you're like, it's pretty dark in here. Are you sure this is where all the books about the moon landing are? Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's right over there in that corner, right over there. That they just close the door to hear a latch, and then you're never heard of again. Disappeared. um, but so yeah, let's get the plugs out of the way. This is the AfroMattt Show. If you're listening on Spotify or iTunes or whatever the hell you listen on, you can watch us and see our faces. It might surprise you.
They're
We're
very
both white.
beautiful,
Um,
super handsome,
yeah,
good-looking
good,
gentlemen.
good-looking gentlemen. Um, that's what we are. And I know it may surprise you, but Nick's actually white. So if you go to the YouTube channel, Nick's actually white. Um, but so the YouTube channel is just AfroMattt, and if you're listening and watching, and you can find all this information in the description below as well on both. But you can find us on Spotify just searching the AfroMattt Show. That being said, you can find us on Instagram as well. I'm AfroMattt, and he is not _ Nickelhouse. And on Twitter, I am real AfroMattt. That is pretty much everything out of the way. Pretty much it's all AfroMattt with 3 T's, so don't get tripped up. the extra T is for trans because we love trans here. Um, but yeah, so last episode, the last podcast of 2021. This is the first podcast of 2022. This is January 2nd. So we're recording this. It'll probably come out on January 3rd, Monday. As always, every episode comes out on Monday. But last episode, you gave me some homework and you told me to watch the movie Don't Look Up. So
That's right.
I looked. I watched it. I think 4 days ago or whatever. I've got to say, and this is going to be, I mean, obviously spoilers. So, I mean, if you don't want spoilers, skip ahead about 15 minutes. But honestly, who really cares? If you haven't watched the movie, it's probably not for you anyways. You're probably not going to like it. It's pretty long. Did it feel like a long movie to you? I don't actually know I don't know what the runtime is. Wait, let me look it up. Don't look up runtime. Because it felt like a really, really long movie. I don't know if I was just bored halfway through it, or if it was yeah. So it's 2 hours and 18 minutes. So that's pretty. I mean, that's pretty long.
This movie literally goes hand in hand with what's happening with Dr. Malone right now.
What do you mean?
After his appearance on Joe Rogan, he's banned off Twitter. He's
really?
banned. Yes, he's
You're
banned.
kidding.
He's permanently banned off Twitter.
Dude, I was trying to tell someone this on Reddit. I know, dude. I'm horrible. I should just stay off of Reddit because I try to talk to people and people just have like zero functioning brain cells on Reddit. Like if you use Reddit, yeah, there's a 98% chance you don't have a brain that thinks for itself. Like you can't just like, dude. So I was talking to this guy and I posted this clip from the movie Don't Look Up that I think was suspiciously against probably what they wanted it to go for. And the reason I believe that was because of the percentages that they used and whatnot. So in the movie, the premise of the movie is an asteroid is coming. A scientist finds an asteroid that's coming for the planet. And they go to the president, and the president's a female Trump, I guess, right? It's a female.
That's the vibe I get.
It's a female. It's obvious. It's like obvious. It's like a pretty heavy-handed female.
But I mean, at her rally, like there's some normal people, but also half of them seem to be wearing red hats.
They're all wearing red hats that say "Don't look up." So, I think it's not really a metaphor. I think it means like literally, don't look up the information. You know. Like don't research. You know. So they're saying, like, if you support Donald Trump, you support not looking up information. So it's like a heavy-handed... It's definitely got an agenda. But this scene in particular, I felt kind of didn't help their agenda. And I don't know.
Recorded your TV?
I literally just recorded my TV. Because I'm like, I read it, I watched it, and I'm like, wait, maybe this movie's not about climate change. Maybe this is a giant metaphor for COVID, because they were using such specific data, which is like, 99.7 is usually the percentage. Sometimes
survival.
Survival rate. In this movie, they use it as chance of death because
a chance that it's going to hit the planet.
Yeah. So let's watch.
So how certain is this?
100% certainty of impact.
Please, don't say 100%.
So we just call it a potentially significant event? Yeah. Yes.
But it isn't potentially going to happen. It is going to happen.
Exactly, 99.78% to be exact.
Oh, great. Okay, so it's not 100%.
Well, scientists never like to say 100%.
Call it 70%. Let's move on. But it's not even close to 70%. You cannot go around saying to people that they're...
So from this, they're having the conversation I've had multiple times with multiple people that have gone like a little COVID cuckoo crazy, where I'll say, yeah, this thing only kills like 99, or this only kills like point, I don't know, what was that, 0.7% of people, which, granted, if every single person on the planet got it, that's a lot of numbers. That's a lot of people. But they're using the same data in this movie, but they're using it to defend the situation. So it's like, and the things that they're saying make sense. They're like, scientists don't like to say 100%. Yeah, they're not going to say you have a 100% chance to survive COVID. That makes sense, right? And then he tells the president, which is a Donald Trump-like character, and she's like, let's just call it 70, which is literally, I feel like, what all liberals are. They're like, let's just call it 70 because you're going to die from COVID. You know? They're like, they want you to believe that there's a 30% chance that you die from COVID. If you watch this movie and think that it's about COVID, it seems like it's very, very pro or very, very anti, COVID, the COVID craziness. So when I watched this movie and I had that in mind, and particularly this scene kind of set the frame, I enjoyed the movie. And I posted this clip on the subreddit called Don't Look Up, like the official subreddit for the movie. And so many people are like, they're like, dude, this wasn't a metaphor for COVID. He's like, just look up the information. I'm like, dude, literally in the movie, in the end of the movie, there's like, people start getting like, doctors start doing like peer review studies on, the asteroid, and they start there was a scene where he's talking to the rich dude, and he's like, yeah, you should.
Well, no, the rich dude didn't want peer reviews.
Yeah, and people
Nobody
were like,
looked into
and doctors were like losing their licenses or something, right? If they tried to.
Yeah.
And I told someone on Reddit that I posted this on, I'm like, that's actually happening in real life. Like, people are, peer reviewing, and they're testing out, technically, I guess they're testing out different medicines like ivermectin and other stuff like that. And I'm like, they're losing their licenses for testing out new stuff. I'm like, this is like the movie that's happening. I'm like, you just can't see it. And he's like, they should lose their license for that. It's stupid. I'm like, dude, you're part of the problem. I'm like,
who told you that?
I'm like, dude,
how do you know that?
I just kept on telling him, like, dude, look up. Like, literally just look, and then I would put in quotes, it up. And I'm like, dude, you're part of the problem. Like, in my eyes, he's the one with the hat that says don't look up, because he doesn't want to look up any of this information. And dude, I hate just like going to Reddit threads. It's so freaking stupid, but I like linked him a ton of like, I just literally typed in doctor loses license on doctor loses license COVID. I just like copy and pasted the 5 links, just sent them all to him. He's like, dude, I don't trust these sources or something. Like, dude, honestly, you just have you just can't argue with people. Anyways, granted, I did like the movie because I felt like it. If it was about, so if you go into it thinking about it's about climate change, it's stupid and very. I don't know. What did you think the movie was about? Because I thought it was about COVID. Well,
also, there's the theme of, like, you can talk about that whole thing, evidence and don't look up and blah blah blah. Another big theme of it was, capitalism. The rich get richer, poor get fucked. They were trying to make you see the Jeff Bezos kind of Mark Zuckerberg figure as the main villain.
Yeah, the main villain wasn't the asteroid. The main villain comes in about an hour and 45 minutes into the movie. It's like the rich dude. He invents like the special iPhone that can like read your senses and knows what you want before you know
it. It has an algorithm that knows how you're gonna die.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. The movie's kind of a comedy. It's written by the same person. It's directed by the same person that did Big Brother or Step Brothers. It wasn't nearly as funny as that movie.
I don't think it was meant to be as funny.
No, I think
it's meant to be a little. It's supposed to have some comedic relief, but it's a big theme.
Yeah, it's like an Avengers movie. They used the comedy to cut the tension because People can't handle tension without a little bit of a gag and a zip and a little zang, you know? You
Yeah.
can't have a full drama. You can't. But I mean, if it's about climate change, I don't know. It's a little.
I think it's about a lot of
It's a
things.
little dramatic. If it's about climate change, climate change is not an asteroid that's gonna kill us all. It's just not. They're like, and then in the end of the movie, all the richest people get on a spaceship, like the Jeff Bezos spaceship, and they just fly to a new planet, which, I mean, will happen in real life, and actually in real life. So what happens in the movie is they land on the planet and they get eaten by aliens.
Barrectosaurs.
That was just so the movie can have a happy ending. In real life, when they leave this planet, they will go to a planet that they know doesn't have aliens that will eat them. They will land on that planet and they will be happy, and then that will be the happy ending. You know, like, they had to have all the rich people die in the end, but in real life that's just not what the ending's going to be. They're going to land on a planet that they know is inhabitable and they know doesn't have bronchosaurus that will kill them. You know? That's what depressed me first. I'm like, yeah, but if this happened in real life, they just wouldn't land on that planet. Like, they just keep on flying, right? Like, they can easily scan a planet for life forms from a massive technology spaceship. But it was kind of interesting. I like the movie. I mean, it's about a lot of things. I guess you can kind of paint what you want onto it. I projected, you know, the COVID, just because of the statistics seems so on the nose. But I mean, I guess
I kind of connected it with the Kyle Rittenhouse thing.
Oh, did you?
Don't look up. Don't look up. When everyone's still arguing that he's wherever they happen to get the term vigilante from, or all that, and it's just like, well, if you literally just look at any source that says what happened and isn't throwing insults at him, you would understand.
Yeah. I think that movie was so vague that, and I mean, it's probably about climate change because Leo DiCaprio, he's like a major climate change guy, and after the movie came out, he like tweeted, "I love the Earth" or something like that, and he was a producer on the show. But I mean, you can really interpret it like most art. You can interpret it many different ways. And plus, like, I know it's like cliche to say this, but I mean, it's a star-studded cast. You have Jennifer Lawrence. You have Leonardo DiCaprio. You have Timothée Chalamet. You have
Ariana
Grande. You better believe that in the making of that movie, the amount of times that they flew on private jets around to get to, you know, maybe different shooting locations, or, you know, maybe he's just a busy guy, and after the shooting for the weekend, maybe he wants to go back to his house in California, or you know, his beach house in Miami or something, right? I mean, these guys, the rich people in the movie's shitting on the rich. I'm like, dude, half of these people could buy me. Like, half of these people in this movie could actually physically, if they wanted to, purchase me. You know? Yeah. But, I mean, they're not filthy rich like Bezos. Speaking of Bezos, dude, do you see this picture of Bezos?
The piece, is he on his yacht?
Dude, yeah. Dude, Bezos with the piece, bro.
He's got a piece, or is he...
Dude, he's with a actual, like, babe, bro. Lauren Sanchez on a yacht in St. Bart's. So here are some pictures of him with her. Dude, dude,
look at that arm. He's got some biceps.
Dude, I'm saying he is ripped, dude.
He's kind of... He needs to cut a little bit, but he's strong as fuck.
Dude, Dude,
Look at this chick just doing that for no reason.
Dude, she's not doing that for no reason. Every move she makes is potentially worth $8 billion, you know?
Yeah.
He divorced his wife and lost half of his fortune for this. That's some... Dude. Imagine having the power as a woman to be able to seduce your way into that amount of wealth.
Oh, she's fucking him up. She got him in the face. You see that?
Yeah. Yeah, she got him good. Dude, what type of fetus juice is Jeffrey Bezos on, dude? He is ripped, dude. Look at those back muscles. Jeffrey Bezos, dude. You know the amount of time that they took these pictures of him washing off? Probably 4 minutes. He made like $7 million.
Yeah.
I always like to think about that. Like how much time, like
I like to think the Amazon gets a fucking cut of every single sale, even if you're a private distributor.
I don't know. I don't know who told me this quote, but it's like if Bill Gates walked over, like saw a $100 bill on the ground, it wouldn't be worth his time to pick it up. He would make more money reaching down to pick it up than, than it was worth.
Yeah.
And that quote just makes me think about every second of Jeff Bezos's time in money. So him stepping down this ladder right now probably took 4 seconds. That's $150,000. A conversation with him, $3 million. Him suntanning on this inflatable tube thing. Say he spends 15 minutes out there. That's $56.5 million. Like, it's just the amount of wealth. It's a lot. It's a lot to think about. A lot of people can't even wrap their brains around it. It's not like I'm not some like pro-capitalist crazy dude, but I'm like, there definitely should be some sort of like limit. Not a limit about how much you can have, but a limit on how much you can avoid in taxes. Because that dude's paying. Dude, did you see Elon Musk said, he tweeted and he's like, by the way, I'm paying $11 billion in taxes this year. Do you see that?
Yeah, I saw him in an interview and like some angry bitch was like saying, well, how would you, a billionaire, say you need to be taxed? And you was like, let me tell you, I'm already paying my fair share in taxes. He's like, I don't know where you get the idea that...
Dude, $11 billion in taxes. Someone that, remember when someone tweeted him and they're like, you can cure world hunger with $9 billion, right? Now we have physical proof that $11 billion is going to the government, and now you can't blame Elon Musk if they don't cure homelessness. You blame the government.
Yeah,
we gotta stop.
It's not about the taxes. It's about what is the government funneling the money into.
Exactly. Dude, you know what they need to do? And this is like the most genius idea I've heard. I think I heard Giannis Pappas say this. We need an itemized receipt.
From the government?
Yeah, from what our taxes are spent on. Like when you order from a restaurant and they say, you added extra queso.
Receipt.
Yeah, you added extra queso. That's $1. You added extra. You upgraded your meat from beef to chicken or chicken to beef or whatever. That's another $1. I want to see where my money's going. $150 to fixing potholes. $100 to Jeffrey Epstein's island. Like that type of stuff. I want to see where the money goes. But they wouldn't do that because you would know how much stupid shit that they spend it on.
Yeah, if you think about how many wealthy people there are in places like Florida, California, here, like how much money that 11 billion was still nothing to them. That's just what one person paid.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
think of all the other wealthy people where they get
Yeah.
millions and millions, and a couple of those is a billion.
yeah.
And then we complain that we don't have enough money. You look at the spending we have like on our military, and it's like that's too much. And I'm like, we have more.
Yeah.
We have so much more.
The question is, where is the money going? And so first off, why do you need to spend, if we cut our military spending in half, we'd still be spending more than like the next 5 in line combined. Like, it's just like a stupid amount of money on military. And for what? Why do we have so much in military? Why are we in so many wars?
It's
The military is about to go to war with Arizona because they just found that they just found like a mine. I don't know if it's Arizona, Montana. It's one of those states that no one cares about, but they just found out they have like a resource that's good for mining or good for iPhones or something. So the U.S. military is about to go to war with Colorado. So they just drop in there. Yeah, I don't know which state it is, but I think they just found that they have like a resource for iPhones. So the U.S. is going to set up and occupy that territory.
why do we care? If it's iPhones, we should be worried about China invading.
Yeah, that's true.
They're gonna take all of their soldiers, and they're gonna take the parachute, or they're gonna take the nets off of the top of the iPhone skyscraper keep them from killing themselves, and they're just gonna give them parachutes and say, we're invading in 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, they
want down there.
No, they want to. Those people, they're gonna take all the people that work in the iPhone places that want to kill the iPhone sweatshops that want to kill themselves anyways, put them in planes and then have them kamikaze pilots, because they want to kill themselves anyway. So might as well get some value out of it.
Right.
Right.
Except that's not a Chinese thing. That's Japanese.
Oh.
Culturally. It's a cultural thing. The Japanese are the
My bad.
kamikaze pilots.
My bad. I confused China and Japan. I want to. Is this going to be the first apology of the?
Did you know if in Japan they wouldn't kill you in World War II if you failed the kamikaze and you returned?
What?
So your thing was like, hey, you're out of gas,
Mm-hmm.
or you're about to die. Like, you just fuck them up. You kill yourself into them to do as much damage as possible. But if you came back, they'd send you back again. They wouldn't waste you.
Yeah, there's an episode on Curb Your Enthusiasm, where he's at dinner with one of his friends, and his friends brought their dad, and their dad's a failed kamikaze pilot. And he makes fun of him because he's like, when you were going towards that building that you were supposed to kamikaze into, did you ever just kind of like accidentally miss, like, oops? And he's like, chicken. He's like, buck, 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 or something like that. So he keeps on making fun of him throughout the episode. I think
For not killing himself.
Yeah, and then I think his son kills himself because of it. So.
Oh, that's messed up.
Yeah. But it's a good episode. Curb is pretty good. I don't know if you've seen Curb, but
I need to watch it. I haven't. You've talked about it so much.
Curb's. I mean, it's a really good show. It kind of.
You made me watch Sunny. I watched that one.
Oh,
is it better than Sunny?
Dude, I just watched the new season. Season 14.
Did you watch all of it?
Yeah, I binged in a day.
Is it actually good? Is it less restrictive than the last season?
Dude,
like the season before that felt like they were really downplaying what they used to do.
It's funny. They make fun of how restricted it is. So it is restricted, but they make fun of it. So they're like one of the episodes is they have to do Lethal Weapon 8. You know Lethal Weapon? The first 2 Lethal Weapons, they did blackface, and those were taken off Hulu. So in the show, they're like, hey guys, Lethal Weapon 1 and 2 were taken out of the library or something like that, right? And they're like, so we have one choice, and it's to do Lethal Weapon 8. So they do the new Lethal Weapon, and they're like, but this time no blackface. So they hire a black person, like just a random black person, to play the black guy. And then throughout the episode, they're like, they're like, okay, this still feels wrong. So then they end up just replacing every single character in the movie with black people. So it's like reverse blackface. So all the white people were replaced with black people. It's a pretty good episode. And by the end, they're just like, they're like, how about instead of a villain that's a person, because that's appropriation and you can't make fun of people anymore. How about we have the villain just be a tsunami? And they're like, no, let's just do tidal wave because tsunami is, it's
Like Japanese.
non-specific. Yeah. So tidal wave is the arch enemy of the movie. And so it's just like two black guys, and then eventually just a giant wave comes in and then they just shoot it. it's so good. I think that was probably one of my favorite episodes. And
Dude, I love this scene. The scene in Don't Look Up when the comet's coming down and Ron Perlman has a machine gun.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, he's shooting it.
That's another one, another big ticket. They had Ron Perlman in there, but he played like a retard.
Yeah.
He played a really stupid person.
Yeah, I like that guy. Dude, I like when he's in the plane rocket going to blow up the asteroid, and he's like,
God, he starts being super racist.
He's like, I want to thank all my Indians, both types.
Yeah, both types. Why don't y'all work together?
He's like, the ones with the bow and arrows and the elephants. Imagine how cool it would be if you guys teamed up.
Yeah. Like he was trying to be wholesome, but he wasn't getting it right.
And they're like, it's just a different time, man. Just a different time. Yo, who else did they have? Who played that? Who's that fat guy who?
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill. I love that guy. He was really funny in the movie. Oh, they had Meryl Streep too. How could I forget that?
They had a lot of people, bro.
I mean, it was a star-studded cast. And I'm guessing a lot of airplane fuel and carbon emissions. No ozones were harmed in the making of this film. Not. Definitely.
Everybody took a Tesla there.
Everyone took a Tesla. I highly doubt it. Oh, dude, did you know Greta Thunberg's 18 now?
We talked about this
Did we?
a long podcast ago.
Oh,
Yeah,
we?
we said it's fair game to make fun of her now.
Oh yeah, true.
Because she's not a baby.
I want to show you this guy. Jeff Bezos look-alike, I guess. This guy he owns an engineering company. And
Oh my God.
And
He does look like Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, he looks like Jeff Bezos, and he's been getting a lot of attention because he wears dresses and skirts and heels. So what do you feel about this?
Hold on. You can hear Doggo, right?
No, I can't.
You can hear him barking?
No. The dude's ripped, dude. The dude has legs, bro. Like, he is shred. Look at that vein, bro.
Why wouldn't he just finish off the dress? Like, that doesn't match. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, it looks
He's wearing
photoshopped?
like he's wearing a blazer.
Yeah.
Excuse me? You go, queen. That one makes sense. That outfit.
Yeah. This one, I mean,
Yeah,
I guess it does. So, for the past year, robotics engineer Mark Bryan has amassed hundreds of thousands of followers on Instagram by cataloging his daily outfits that include skirts, heels, and from a profile interview, by all accounts, Mark Bryan is an average run-of-the-mill guy. The 61-year-old grandfather of 4 has been happily married to his wife for the past 11 years. In 2010, he moved from Texas to a town near Schacksball, Germany, where he now works as a robotics engineer and coaches a local football team. He loves cycling and fast cars and beautiful women, and he tries to exercise at least twice a week. Oh,
no, okay, look.
What?
He paid somebody. He paid somebody to write this article.
Oh.
He coaches, like, he's validating that he's not gay and he just likes to wear dresses.
Yeah.
He's like, tell them that I love girls and that I coach football.
Dude, imagine he wrote this article.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Yeah,
he loves cycling and fast cars and beautiful women and football. Those are all things that are meant to be masculine.
Yeah. He coaches football, and also he's really hot, and he loves
yeah,
women.
He's sexy, and you should hit him up. Here's his Instagram.
And he's definitely not gay. Definitely not. He loves women, by the way. Did I mention that? Yeah. That's the dude's
He's in
ripped.
denial.
Yeah.
No, he's jacked. He could
I
get all
mean,
the dudes.
Yeah, but he's got that Harry Styles thing. Like, remember when Harry Styles would just wear a bunch of dresses all the time? I don't know if he still
Yeah.
does. But it's like there's a point when you're so, I guess, comfortable with your masculinity, if that's what that is, that you just go full retard, to be honest.
There's a chance that he is so comfortable with his masculinity that that's why he loves football and fast cars
And women
and
and
beautiful
women.
women.
Yeah. Yeah, and wears a pencil skirt to work every day.
But it's just because he's comfy with his sexuality,
Yeah.
or he's in denial.
Or he's a sexual deviant and loves to be publicly embarrassed, you know?
He's a deviant, my boy.
Bisexual deviant, bro. You know, like those people that like to be embarrassed in public?
That like to be.
Yeah, like the guy who eats like a shoe or like licks the bottom of a shoe on a subway because his dom told him to, you know? Like those people.
Okay.
It could be one of those situations. And I know the rich people
His wife
are always
his wife
funky
says,
like that.
"You wear that dress to work today."
And he's like, I don't want to, but it makes me hard as a rock to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
And that's why he posts them.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that because these rich
Like-
people are disgusting.
And you know what you do? You pay someone to write an article about you, sweetie, that says that you like football and all this stuff that makes you look more masculine, and then they're gonna think you're gay.
Mm-hmm.
And you try to validate it so they think that you're questioning it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to see him on an interview where he's like, yeah, I love all the things guys like. I like girls and sports cars and I love beer. I really love beer.
Football, the charcoal on the grill.
Yeah,
I can't get enough.
I love working on cars. And I love lug nuts. I love lug nuts. Just like he doesn't.
Lug nuts.
Granted, that's
Nuts.
how I would.
He starts sweating.
Dude, I think I might be more gay than this guy. I hate football. I hate fast cars. I mean, I like fast cars, but I mean, I wouldn't drive one. They're scary. Anyways, speaking of sexual deviance, let's talk about Ghislaine Maxwell. So Ghislaine Maxwell, here we go.
Ghislaine.
Ghislaine Maxwell. So Ghislaine Maxwell was found guilty recently. Dude, do you find it confusing that Ghislaine Maxwell's trial was faster than Kyle Rittenhouse's?
I mean, there wasn't really media around.
Yeah, why?
They're slowing them down.
Why?
They're chasing them. They're chasing the jury in the bus.
Yeah, why was there no coverage of the Ghislaine Maxwell trial?
Because it was a federal case, and you're not allowed to record federal cases. It's a stupid law.
That is so
The
stupid.
Kyle Rittenhouse was a just state thing. And
Weird.
I'm honestly like, I would be more interested in this than the Kyle Rittenhouse thing.
I mean, I would.
They're both interesting, but
I would
have liked to.
I would
see it.
legitimately skip work to watch the trial.
I want to see her collapse. She's
No,
probably
dude.
already accepted what's going on.
You know, they actually like in courthouse witnesses said that when they read the verdict to her, she closed her eyes, opened them, and then took a sip of her water and then just sat down. Like
You knew it.
completely unfazed. Like she knows
Yeah.
somehow she's going to get off with this, or she knows somehow she's just going to die in prison, you know?
She's at complete acceptance.
Yeah. But so here's her counts. So she was actually found not guilty on one count, so I'll read them all. Count 1, conspiracy to entice a minor to travel to engage in illegal sex acts. Maximum sentence of 5 years. Guilty. Count 2, enticing a minor
5 years for that?
That's maximum, yeah. I don't
That's
know.
stupid.
Yeah, it's really stupid. But enticing a minor to travel to engage in illegal sex acts. Maximum of 5 years. Not guilty. So that's count 2. That's the one that she was... So So I don't know which person this was, but there was apparently. So count 1 was conspiracy to entice. Count 2 was enticing a minor. So she was found not guilty.
So just thinking about it, conspiring to do it is a crime, and then following through is a crime.
Yeah, yeah.
So on 3 and 4, right? She is not guilty for conspiring, but she did still transport the individual.
So on 3, conspiracy to transport a minor with the intent to engage in criminal sexual activity, maximum sentence is 5 years, guilty.
So wait,
Count 4, actually transporting a minor with the intent to engage in illegal criminal sexual activity.
Now
10
is this
years.
is this like first, second, and third degree murder, where if it's not premeditated, right? So she's like, her defense is, well, I saw the kid. She's like, maybe I can get off on a count. I saw the kid and thought Jeff needs him in the moment, and I kidnapped her, and then we raped her.
No, her defense for this all was that she was a scapegoat, and she was being tried because Jeffrey Epstein was dead. So she felt like she was being tried instead of Jeffrey Epstein. But here's count number 5: conspiracy to commit sex trafficking of minors, 5 years, guilty. Count 6: sex trafficking of minors, again, maximum sentence of 40 years. So she's looking at 65 years total was the end result.
So she's dead.
Yeah, so she'll
gonna die in
be
prison.
Betty White's age by the time she's out, and Betty White just died. So, I mean, we all kind of saw it coming, but this begs the question of, because we know, I mean, she was obviously transporting these minors, and there's a lot of minors here. So it's like they weren't all being, I guess, abused by just Jeffrey and Ghislaine. I want to start getting some of the details of some of the people, and some other people need to start getting these trials, right? And start looking at some potential prison, because let me ask you a question, Nick. Do you think it's a higher percentage of rich people or poor people are pedophiles?
Rich.
I know. I actually think that too. I think that actually might be true.
It's not think. There's 100% chance that's true. There's no way it isn't. They have got the resources. The church people that pocket all the church money.
Oh, true. Church people. I wasn't even factoring church people.
Those are
Catholic priests.
big pedophiles. Freaking Kevin Spacey.
Yeah. Well,
It's always the rich people.
Didn't Kevin Spacey just squeeze like a 17-year-old's ass? I mean,
that's one day away from being 18.
Dude,
let's let him off.
He was flirting with it for sure, but
flirting with it.
Yeah, he was.
Grabbed a whole handful of juice. I don't think that's excusable.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, I love Kevin Spacey.
Were you watching House of Cards when that went down, and then they just like ripped him off of it?
Yeah, didn't they kill him off, and then that show died like instantly? You never hear anyone watching that show anymore. That sucks, dude. They should have just kept on making new episodes. He's not in prison or anything. He can make movies.
The poor people that are pedophiles, there's a lot of like sexual abuse in broken households. Think about like trailer parks and drugs and all that shit. Like,
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of.
I don't know. Like, it might be more poor people now that I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, there's a village in Florida for sexual assault people. It's just a town because they're not allowed to be within like 10 miles of a school or anything like that. So there's like one neighborhood where it's only
sex offenders.
Sex offenders, yes. It's like, I forgot the name of the neighborhood, but I don't know who said this to me, but it was like, it would be just a funny thought to buy land in to buy land in the metaverse and create a town in the metaverse for sexual offenders. It's not enough that they're forced to stay in a special town in the real world, but they have to stay in a special town in the metaverse. That would be
now
funny.
Superior like integration, if it happens, ideally that would happen.
Yeah,
like, oh, you thought you were free again?
No.
This is our new normal, but
yeah.
It's gonna be a smooth transition, buddy. You're
Man,
still stuck.
that'd be so funny. Let's move along here. Let me show you this. Here's that. Try not to laugh too hard at this. This is a pretty good meme, but
We start with breaking news out of Darwin, where 3 people have escaped from the Howard Springs COVID quarantine facility. Talia Sava's there for us. Talia, good morning. There's a search underway right now.
Yes, that's
Literally
right, Davina.
searching
Good
for them
morning
like
to
they're prisoners, like they're murderers because they have COVID.
no, it's not that they have COVID. It's that
It's just that they traveled.
they traveled. Yeah. So let me start that back up here.
The trio scaled the fence in the early hours of this morning. Police receiving reports around 4:40 a.m. Now, major police checkpoints have been set up around Howard Springs for the past several hours. As you can see in these pictures, they've been conducting thorough searches in car boots, checking vehicle registrations, cars and buses alike. But in the
Move along, eh? We're just looking for a fellow chap, eh?
We're looking for someone with COVID. You move along. Dude, I can't
Roger
believe
this.
that.
last half an hour, what we
Look
understand.
how intense this is. We don't even do this when we've got an active shooter on the loose.
Dude, this
They are on the COVID.
dude, Australia. I honestly, at first, I thought Australia was a cool country, and I would consider like traveling there because it seems cool. Except for everything wants to kill you, like there's snakes and bugs and shit like that.
They got ruse.
Roos are kind of cool, but
They're like jumpy deer, bro.
I mean everything in Australia. I mean, this just is a huge turnoff to Australia for me, to be honest. The fact that they're having a manhunt for 2 people that escaped a quarantine camp. And so, like, look, if I showed you this, like 5 years ago, you would have thought it was
You'd
like
laugh and say that was the funniest satire.
it's an SNL skit, right?
Yeah.
It's an SNL skit. This is an SNL skit, but this is real life. So this is less. So that's why making things funny is so hard, because as a comedian, you're competing against the actual news. You're just competing against headlines and the actual news. Like, this is what you're competing against for funny. I can't make a skit of this anymore because it exists, Like, I can't just like do a fake satire skit of we're on the lookout for 2 people that escaped a quarantine camp because it exists. It's not satire.
I think even if you have that, if they leave, like if I was in charge of the place, I'd be like, well, they got. Are you gonna get them? I don't give a shit. They got stuff to do.
Who's getting paid enough to do this?
Yeah.
Dude, this just
And how do you
proves-
brainwash the people enough to where you literally see the cops just like beating the fucking people when they
Dude,
get them?
this just goes to show you how many people would vote for Hitler, like right now. Like, Hitler, believe it or not, was voted into office when he was running, right? He would give emotional speeches, rile people up. They had a common enemy. And a lot of people voted for him, and it was a slow, gradual, change, but eventually it escalated to the point where he was committing genocide, and a lot of people didn't even know, right? I'm not saying they're committing genocide here. I'm just saying these cops and a lot of the soldiers that committed these horrible acts, when asked why they did it, they said, quote unquote, I'm just following orders. When I went out to dinner with Danny, we got a little drunk, and I started asking him questions. I'm like, dude, so in Australia and places they're like vaccine mandating. I'm like, if the government today told you to drag me out of my apartment and because I was unvaccinated, I'm like, would you do it? Because it's your orders? And he's like, I would have to. And I'm like, I would have to. I'm like, I'm not going to lay my life down on the line for the government and join the army but I will gladly 100% lay my life down and have a full-on. Can I even say this on YouTube?
Probably not. I think we should just imagine what you were about to say. I'm gonna have a full-on shit in my pants because I'm scared when they come. That's what you were gonna say,
That's
right?
what I was gonna say. Yeah, I was gonna shit my pants when the paratroopers come through my window.
Stand is they've actually been dismantled. Exactly why that hasn't been confirmed. Hopefully good news. We're also not sure yet who these people are connected with, whether it's a repatriation flight or those Aboriginal community members who have been staying here following the Catherine cluster. Davina, what we do know is that this is definitely going to bring this gold standard facility under intense scrutiny. On Sunday we had a man escape and found on Darwin's party precinct, and this latest situation is only going to put us under the microscope further.
Not good news. Okay, Talius, thank you.
So that has 1.8 million, 1.4 million views. See what some of the. Oh, this guy says, I no longer question how German camps were a thing. They're so nonchalant about it. Remember, it's voluntary and for your well-being. Yet it needs barbed wire to keep you in. It's a voluntary quarantine camp. Vaccines are free. Yeah, I mean, look, we're coming up on some dark times, guys. I suggest, and I actually heard this from a friend of a friend. Heard this from a friend who has a friend who works for Smith & Wesson, but there is going to be a ban on 20+ round mags. So I'm saying buy them now because they will be banned within the next year.
There's a lot of people scared about that. People are scared that it's going to be 10 round mags. 10 rounds is going to be your limit.
Yeah, that's
unless you're a police officer or in the military, of course. But everybody that's already got one on the street, all the black market guns that are already fully auto, they get to keep their massive mags. But you, the civilian, following the rules, should be disarmed. Yeah. You should be.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's look. And I hate comparing things to Hitler because there's nothing going on right now as bad as what Hitler had done. But the first thing that goes is the guns. And in the case of Germany, that was true. And in the case of America, that will probably be true. That being said, in America, it's probably a lot harder than it was in Germany because there's about 8 guns per household in America. So, I mean, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for them. But so, like, I think I have a friend who has like 38 guns. I'm like, yeah, it's an arsenal. You have to, like, that's a lot of guns. But, yeah, I just don't know. Amsterdam, speaking of Germany, Amsterdam's in disarray. Massive. This is the biggest protest in Amsterdam in a long time. So this was today. So they have the police with their riot gear. Massive.
It says it says 2021. Oh no, January 2022. I guess they just fucked up the title.
It's like when you're writing on your homework and
they're so loose with their batons.
So the batons are flying. People are getting whacked. They have the dogs out.
They're like storming the White House in the States, and they're just holding the line with the shields. These guys are like, you get close to me and you're getting the shit beat out of you.
Yeah, those batons will break your bones too. Huge crowds of people in Amsterdam, maskless, all probably going to be shipped to some sort of containment facility shortly. And I feel like
they're going to put like a Simpsons dome on them.
I feel like the reason Amsterdam was so quick to do this is because they are from Germany and they know what type of situation this can lead to.
They got PTSD is what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could say PTSD, or you could just do yeah, I guess. Yeah, post-traumatic stress disorder. guess it was pretty traumatic. I've pre-TSD. I don't have post, but I because I never experienced it, but I have pre-traumatic stress disorder for this. I'm stressed out beforehand. Here's Joe Rogan talking about what we were just talking about with the creator.
This is a guy that got canceled.
Yeah, so
this man has been canceled for this.
And so,
a very smart man.
Not only a smart man, he created, I guess technically, he helped create the vaccine that we all know and love today, Dr. Lord Fauci's vaccine that is the cure of all of our problems.
We haven't watched this clip yet. We haven't watched it.
It's the mRNA. It's the creator and inventor of the technology used in the mRNA vaccine. Very smart doctor. He appeared on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan had him on, and he is publicly against on Twitter. He's publicly against the current vaccine. Joe Rogan had him on, and he discussed what's called mass psychosis.
Basically, you're
discussing a little bit about how comparing now to post-World War II Germany, or I guess World War II Germany.
An intellectual inquiry into what the heck happened in Germany in the 20s and 30s. You know, very intelligent, highly educated population, and they went barking mad. And how did that happen? The answer is mass formation psychosis. When you have a society that has become decoupled from each other and has free-floating anxiety and a sense that things don't make sense, we can't understand it, and then their attention gets focused by a leader or a series of events on one small point, just like hypnosis, they literally become hypnotized and can be led anywhere. And one of the aspects of that phenomena is the people that they identify as their leaders, the ones typically that come in and say, you have this pain and I can solve it for you, I and I alone, okay, can fix this problem for you, okay? Then they will follow that person through. It doesn't matter whether they lie to him or whatever. The data are irrelevant. And furthermore, anybody who questions that narrative is to be immediately attacked. They are the other. This is central to mass formation psychosis. And this is what has happened. We had all those conditions. If you remember back before 2019, everybody was complaining, the world doesn't make sense, blah, blah, blah. And we're all isolated from each other. We're all on our little tools. We're not connected socially anymore, except through social media. And then this thing happened, and everybody focused on it. That is how mass formation psychosis happens, and that is what's happened here.
Smart dude. Unfortunately, after he appeared on Joe Rogan, he was pretty quickly banned off of social media. So, right, Nick? Didn't you say that's what happened? So he was banned from Twitter, right?
Yeah.
So I mean,
got the Twitter ban.
He got the Twitter ban.
Same boat as Mr. Trump.
Also, someone else just got Twitter banned. Republican chairholder, I think, Marjorie Taylor Greene also got Twitter banned. So, I mean, look, they're getting a little loosey-goosey on the bans, and, you know, I mean, everyone knows it's happening.
When you're in the bathroom, you just said anything that goes against the narrative they want you to believe, everybody attacks you. And they hate it because they've been hypnotized, because you're not the one that's going to itch that scratch for them. You're not going to fix the pain that they have. You're not offering the solution. So,
is the people that they identify as their leaders, the ones typically that come in and say, you have this pain and I can solve it for you, I and I alone.
That's pretty crazy. I and I alone. Is that Fauci? Lord Fauci? He is, you know, Dr. Fauci came out and said, I am science.
Is he really?
Yeah, he said, I am science. He said, trust science and I am science.
Okay, can fix this problem for you.
Let me see if I can.
Then they will follow that person through. It doesn't matter whether they lie to him or whatever. The data are irrelevant. And furthermore, anybody who questions that narrative is to be immediately attacked. They are the other. This is central.
Interesting. I mean, the dude's a smart dude, and it's unfortunate that he got banned for appearing on the biggest podcast to ever exist. Let's see. Fauci declares I am science. I'm trying to find this thing so I'm not spreading misinformation because I know it exists.
If you haven't checked in on Tony Fauci lately, you may be...
Oh, let's see. I don't even know if this is it. Let's see.
We got a couple big tranches last week of emails to and from Dr. Anthony Fauci of NIH. And we shared them with you on the show. They told us a lot. Mostly that the things Fauci has said in public for the last year and a half are very different from the things he said in private. In private, he admitted that masks, the paper kind you buy at the drugstore, don't work. They don't protect you from COVID. He didn't say that in public. He lied about it. In public, he told us under oath that he had not funded gain-of-function research at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. In private, he admitted he did.
Gain-of-function research is...
Gain-of-function. Gain-of-function means making COVID deadlier.
It's, gain-of-function is doublespeak for bioterrorism, essentially. Like, weaponized biology. The creation of making viruses more deadly. Gain a function. The function that it's gaining is killing more people. Essentially, I mean, it's not a conspiracy. That's what it is.
So Tony Fauci hasn't really responded in detail to these discrepancies until today, when he did respond. Here's what he said.
So if you are trying to, get at me as a public health official and a scientist, you're really attacking not only Dr. Anthony Fauci, you're attacking science. And anybody that looks at what's going on clearly sees that. You have to be asleep not to see that. That is what's going on. Science and the truth are being attacked.
Yeah. So he didn't necessarily say I am science, but he says you attack me, you attack science, right? So, I mean, comparing him to being the arbiter of truth, the bringer of knowledge, the bringer of facts, the bringer of science, the only bringer of science, albeit. But yeah, so, I mean, that's a pretty cheery way to just hop into some TikToks right there, right? I like how we always we dive bomb the pot. We what?
The like Hispanic looking, maybe he's black, whatever guy. I know because I've got to say his description because we watched the Dojo Life, right? Mm-hmm. But the guy that like dresses in the armor and all that,
yeah,
he had a video of him training with somebody.
I have it. I pulled it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I wanted you to see it if you hadn't seen it.
Yeah. Let's watch that.
Oh, it's this one.
Dude,
yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I got it. Dude, he got.
He's dead.
So he gets shot probably 4 times.
This guy was waiting for his opportunity to do this.
Yeah. So he took
He wanted to kill him.
He's taking one of his classes and he's having it filmed. So he waits for him to do his little quick move, and he just jerks his hand back and just shoots him 4 times. Yeah. And then, the guy gets pissed because he's not falling over for his shit.
So if they try to back up, wait.
So he can't. Yeah. So in real life, that's what would happen.
And look, he's got a little smile. He's like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show him.
Dude, he knew that was his moment to shine. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Finally got a little taste of the what would
and you've
happen
got Dojo in here too.
Yeah, I got some.
This is
Dojo.
Perfect.
I got some Dojo. Yeah, this is a real pick me up from realizing the world's ending.
Yeah.
So this is next time you're carrying around a telephone pole, remember this. So this guy's teaching you telephone pole karate. So he's being attacked by a guy with a sword, which is rare. Okay. So, and his weapon of choice is telephone pole.
So kicking back, out of reach. Go ahead, bring it around. Just out of reach. Come around.
Boom.
Boom.
Boom. Boom.
Boom. Kick.
Boom.
See that? He destroyed him
That
with
was-
a telephone pole. This guy wants to be an anime character
Like
so
you
bad.
can outmaneuver a sword.
Dude, this guy wants to be an anime
that?
character so bad.
Like he's got to take it real slow too. He's like, look, boom,
Boom,
move out of the way.
boom.
And if my opponent is moving at 1 mile per hour, look what I can do.
Yeah. I just love that he
And,
thinks that
the
those...
time that it would take him to swing that, he's been slashed 4 or 5 times probably.
Out of reach. Go ahead, bring it around.
Look at him having to use his shoulder as a fulcrum.
Boom.
Oh,
Boom.
he says it so gently, he's putting him to sleep.
Walk around. I just want to be in one of these classes. Where do people find these classes? What ad says telephone pole self-defense?
Is there anything here that's not like jujitsu gyms, you know?
Like any self-defense?
There's got to be some like chakra-based MMA around here.
Oh, dude, what if we need to take a chakra-based defensive class and just film it for the YouTube channel? McDojo life in real life. McDojo life IRL. So here's another McDojo life. So this is a guy who has the power. So you know that. What I assume that this is what power he contains inside of himself. You know the power of what's that guy? The Black Panther. How he can absorb impacts and
energy,
then expel it, and then boom, and it.
Does this guy do that?
This guy does that. So here he goes.
Holy
but
shit.
he has to take damage first in order to absorb it. And then
right.
So he's getting ready.
1, 2.
Holy shit. Do you see that?
The hammer broke it.
Yeah, but then he exploded and it blasted
They
them all
flew
away.
backwards.
He blasted them. So what happened in that one is he had a board pressed against his bicep. They took a sledgehammer and smashed the board, and then immediately as they smashed it, I guess he expelled his energy, and they flew away. Let's watch that again. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
1, 2.
Holy shit.
You can see the person jump.
Dude,
you can
you've
see the
got to-
person's legs bend
What?
because they're about to jump.
What?
The guy on the left. Look at the guy jump on the left. Look at it one more
Dude,
time.
Nick, they're not jumping.
Dude,
Dude,
I
he's
swear to God, I saw him
expelling
jump.
energy.
This is like the real life version of the cartoon like dog pile scenes where the hero gets all his strength and
Dude, that's
blasts
like
them all away.
that's like the Matrix. Remember when he was like he's been like dogpiled by like 26 Agent Smiths, and he's just like this, and boom, all the Agent Smiths
Yep.
go fly.
This is real.
In slow motion. Yeah, this is real.
This is the real version.
Yeah. Let me see. These are some good TikToks. I want to get through them all. So we got the McDojo life out of the way. Let's do this one. This is Lil Uzi. This is Lil Uzi teacher. You know Lil Uzi Vert, right?
Yeah, of course.
So this is a teacher that is a fan, I guess. She's pretty cool.
Please. I took your recommendation
Tag Lil Uzi.
and I listened to P2 by Lil Uzi Vert, and I really could relate to some of the lyrics. The part I liked best, because it reminded me of a time in my life, was the passage, "I don't really care because I'm done.
Done.
On the real, our love is not fun.
Oh,
There's
God.
no emotion on my face because I'm numb.
Oh.
You see me everywhere you look. No, you can't hide or run."
Dude, she's cold. She's cold.
I'm sending that to Uzi as we speak.
Dude, she's
She
icy, bro.
she got in. She got in with the kids.
Yeah.
Now she's the coolest teacher.
No, she is easily the coolest teacher. I kind of want to get the clip of the song that's from. Wait, Lil Uzi. Lil Uzi. You can't run. Man, wait. Oh, she says there's an excerpt from one of his songs. Let me see. Because I want to find the part. I don't listen to Lil Uzi, but this is just such an epic moment. I want to get the.
Please. I took your recommendation
Tag Lil Uzi.
and I listened to P2.
I don't like that they put all the
Lil
Disney
Uzi
voices on TikTok.
P2.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I hate it. P2. Okay, Lil Uzi. Lil Uzi P2. Lil Uzi Vert P2.
Copyright.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get slammed. Gonna be honest. Oh, here it is. Is this the same song as another one of his songs?
It sounds just like he one-tricked it.
This is the copy paste of the other song, right?
Yeah. Push me to the edge. All my friends are dead. It's that song.
Wait, dude, did we just uncover something?
Or is it just his style? People made fun of Nickelback because they made all their songs in like the same key.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
I mean,
everything I said, push me to the edge.
I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. He's lost. I guess he's lost muse, right? Inspiration. He's just kind of copying himself. It's sad when that happens. It's like writer's block, so you just start parodying yourself. It's sad. Let's watch this one. This one's pretty funny. This one's pretty good. If it'll load.
A career out of McDonald's.
And people say you can't make a career out of McDonald's.
A career out of McDonald's.
I love working for McDonald's. That's never going to change. I'll be there 5 years in May. I've never called in sick or requested a day off. I love it so much. I love my coworkers. I look forward to going to work. I'm working back cash almost all the time right now, and I love greeting customers at the window. I look forward to a great year ahead. Thanks for listening, everyone. Have a great day.
You can
He had someone with a gun.
Dude,
he had corporate behind him with a gun.
Yes. Blink 3 times if McDonald's made you say this, bro. Dude, he was definitely. I love greeting people at the window. He's like so he's like an old dude, and he's like, I never take a day off. This is propaganda for McDonald's employees.
Sick or requested a day off. I love it so much. I love my coworkers. I look forward to going to work. I'm working back cash almost all the time right now, and I love greeting customers at the window.
He's reading a script.
I look forward to a great year ahead. Thanks for listening, everyone. Have a great day.
Dude, his channel is George from McDonald's. Maybe he just loves McDonald's. Oh, God, that's funny. That's straight up propaganda. All right, we'll watch this one and then call it a night.
Here together tonight. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot.
So this one you kind of have to listen to the background conversation. So this is at Christmas.
Tonight.
Not my Christmas.
Matt, just play it.
Okay. Sorry.
Here together tonight. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to all of us. But Grandma's not here tonight. So it's important that we remember Grandma. She was a big part of our family. It's the first year she hasn't been with us, so I just want you to know how important it is.
Are you fucking kidding me? Your father.
I hope he set that up and everyone was joking, because that's fucked up if that's real.
So they're talking about Grandma, and they're like, this is our first Christmas without Grandma, and he goes into the middle of the conversation, just rips a fat one with a jerky leg, bro.
Yeah, he jerked on it.
Dude, that's a good quality meme. Ugh, that one was good. Fuck it. We'll end with the Joe Biden, because Joe Biden puts everyone to sleep. This is probably one of my favorite clips of Joe Biden, because this is what I would do if I was a president. This is why I couldn't be president.
All right. Here we go. Men title. Well, I'm not going to read it all. We'll just sign it.